Hello guys and welcome back to the Let's Play. This is episode 2. Now unfortunately I did review the footage and I realised that the volume was a little bit low on my mic, so I'm just going to hopefully fix the problem and then we can kind of go from there. And this is what happens when you try to play Pokemon after you've just finished a shift. Yep, so I need to go back in. However, I do also need to see what I've got currently. Now, it's a bit of a rumour, but apparently Ralts has a tendency to spawn better once you've got through the tutorial on how to catch Pokemon. Now, it might be superstition, but it seems to be that whenever I do actually do a playthrough, it does end up turning out to be somewhat true. Someone can try and work out whether or not it does or doesn't. However, most people that I know, usually if they are catching it, have at least got to this stage. So this is our father. He's the 5th badge, I do believe, and he's quite a heavy hitter, especially in these games, but it'll be a while before we take him on, and hopefully we'll have something to counteract him as well. So this is Wally. He's technically a second rival, even though I think you only have 2 fights with him in this game, whereas I think in Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby you have several more. In Emerald, I know that you can rematch him a few times as well. He's got a bit of a backstory to him. If I remember rightly, he's actually a sick child, and it's only until he actually has a Pokemon himself that he starts to get better. I don't know whether that's going to be a placebo effect or whether it's just the power of friendship, as they like to promote in these. So we have no control over this, so it's very much a case of just letting it play out. This is obviously the second part, so hopefully it's going to be a bit longer. If I actually just check the time, I'm going to try and aim for about another half an hour. I don't want to do the episodes too long, because if I do, then obviously you're going to have to sit through quite a fair whack, and I don't really want to do that to any of you. For those of you that will be watching, I'd rather it be shorter episodes, maybe not so much 15 minutes, but a half hour I'd say is pretty good mark for an episode. I mean, when it comes to me watching videos, I don't particularly like videos that are over a half hour long, because you know, you want to be able to watch a video and not have it disturb whatever you may be doing elsewhere. I mean, I know that I sometimes also put them on in the background whilst I'm playing games myself. You know, a bit of background noise doesn't hurt anybody, does it? So yep, so skipping through all this, he's basically saying that, you know, you can't challenge him, you need to go over to X, Y and Z. I believe it's Rustboro he wants us to go to, which is the next town up, city up. So I'm just going to try for a few attempts to see if I can get a route. If not, it's not a problem. For you, those of you that are maybe familiar with this, obviously these games in particular, there are version exclusives, so obviously what I failed to mention last time, whether you heard me or not anyway, oh, we're out already, very nice, is that there are version exclusives. So for Sapphire in particular, in these patches of grasses you can find Lotad in Sapphire, but you can find Seedot in Ruby. Now, when you get to Emerald, this is why they're kind of different. They're not technically exclusive, but Lotad will spawn a lot more than Seedot, and Seedot actually becomes a 1% encounter. But they do remove Surskit from the game, which is a bit bizarre. Come on, get in the ball. One. Nope. You're going to be problematic, aren't you? Luckily, Ralts does not have any attacking moves straight off the bat, so it's actually relatively harmless. No, I don't think I'm going to get to a point where it's going to run out of 40 PP for Growl, but we have caught it, so we're all good there. Now, Routes would be a good one to have on the team, but when we were talking last time, again, if you could even hear me, it's part of the slow experience group, so it means that it takes a lot longer to actually train up. Now, Gardevoir, which is its final evolution, is actually really a powerful Pokemon, and it can learn quite a wide variety of moves. But for now, I think I'm going to give it a miss, because it can't particularly handle itself very well. There are a few that I can pick from that I'd actually want to have on this journey, but it's like what I said before, Wingle's typically not the one that I want to go for. So let's just go for another battle. I mean, Wingull will be a good Pokemon to have for the first 2 gyms, but then outside of that, its evolution Pelipper isn't particularly the best, and its move pool's quite shallow as well. It's not got the best moves, but saying that, the majority of Pokemon in Gen 3 barely had any good moves. Now I have to watch it with C-Dot here, because as much as it is bolstering its defense, that's right there, that was what I was worried about. So Bide's a very weird move. It allows you to take damage over several turns, and then what it ends up doing is it ends up dealing it back to you double the damage that it's taken. As it says there, it's just failed because I haven't attacked it, instead I've reduced its defences. Critical hit, pointless. So yeah, Bide can be quite a disastrous move if you don't treat it with caution, because all of a sudden you've gone from having a Pokemon that can't hold its own to a Pokemon that suddenly is one-shotting your team, but the payoff for it is that you sort of have to obviously sacrifice health in order to do that. Now, we've just put in Wingull. I don't know if it's going to be able to take Taillow on. I want to see how much damage it ends up doing. That is going to be problematic because it's also just used Focus Energy, so Focus Energy boosts the rate of critical hits, and with Peck being, I think Peck in this generation has also got a high critical hit ratio in general as an effect, so essentially it's just made itself, it keeps reducing my attack, and this is going to take a while. So essentially it makes itself crit a lot more than natural means, but luckily I think it's just going to keep spamming Growl, and I'm going to just spam Quick Attack up until the point where it finishes. Quick Attack's a good move because it's priority, so if something is left on 1 HP I can get into it. Wingull's just leveled up and it's got quite a nice special attack, so that's also something to look out for. You don't really want Wingull to have a strong physical attack, you want it to have a good special attack, mainly because of the water moves that it can eventually learn. So we've got a trainer here. Now these trainers are a pain because for some reason, I don't know why, but because they're quote rich, they use full restores. Now a full restore basically is, as it sounds, it will fully restore your Pokemon as soon as it hits a certain level of health. Now luckily we're not exactly in the position to inflict status moves like paralysis or sleep or anything like that, so we're quite lucky they won't affect us too much. However, what we want to try and avoid is falling into the red. In fact, I think it doesn't even have to be that. I think it's about a third health before they then look at regenerating them by using a full restore. It's just use Growl, that's not good. Let's just use Absorb, get the Stab bonus. So Stab is same type attack bonus because Trico is a grass type and it's using a grass type move. This is what I wanted to avoid. He's going to heal anyway, use Leah. This is what I mean, full restore. Now full restores are actually quite expensive items, so the whole point is that obviously these rich kids, it doesn't mean anything to them, so they'll just keep spamming them. But I think they're only allowed to use one. If we use Absorb again, keep our HP up. Yeah, so we're doing a nice chunk of damage, but he's going to just keep spamming Growl, so this is going to prolong it even longer, which is not something I want. Obviously, the only battles that I really want to take a moderate amount of time are sort of the main ones, so like rival fights, the villains of the game, which are environmentalists, which is so outdated in this day and age, I suppose. But the environmental activists in this game, they are the bad guys. You'll find out more as the story sort of progresses, although I am skipping text rather quickly. But again, these games are pretty old at this point, like it should be pretty common knowledge as to what Team Aqua and Team Magma, both to their respective games, what their intentions are. And then in Emerald, which honestly I think is brilliant because it means that they've merged the storyline, so both of the teams are in there. As soon as we're playing Sapphire, we only have to deal with Team Aqua, and that's it. To just see if I can trigger. That's a Zigzagoon. No, I don't want a level 6 Zigzagoon. I don't want them. However, that could be some decent XP for them. Unless you keep spamming Growl. Oh, I don't like it when they spam Growl, I really don't. I mean, most people, if you were using this in competitive, you won't use Growl, you'd use many other moves that could do a lot better. Because it's only a one stage drop, whereas there are some that will harshly drop, which is 2 stages. But luckily, because it's not a trainer battle, they're not going to heal up. Very nice, level 5. And I think we're going to have you battle that trainer Wingle, because I think it might be better for you. Oh, you level 6. If you are just going to continuously spam Growl, then I may as well use a Pokemon that's going to just use Special Attack instead, because Water, I'm pretty sure, is Special Attack in this gen. That is not a good start, don't you dare tail whip me. So I've just dropped the defense stat. I hope it's not going to continue to do that, because if it uses... There we go. And luckily I think you have literally just lost, so... Oh, good chunk of XP, right. I'm pretty sure I still have a potion, do I not? Yes, I do. I cannot be bothered going back to the Pokemon Center just yet. It's not time for that sort of shenanigans. The next Pokemon Center I want to ideally be at is Rustboro, which is the next town over. So, Water Gun, keep. Very nice. And that's a speed drop. I don't think you've got a high enough speed stat. No, you don't. We're all good. So you're down already. Next. 34 XP. Very nice. Yep, special attack going up nicely. The reason why I'm so concerned about the special attack is that even though the next gym over, which is the first gym, it's a rock type and ground type. Well, I suppose it is primarily rock type, but because of the way that some of the Pokemon are created, sometimes they have dual typings, and a few of them in particular have Geodudes, which is ground and rock, and it's quad weak to water. So that's the reason why I've got Wingull for this one. But then for the next one it's fighting, so again flying comes into play. Most of these type advantages most people know, but obviously for those that maybe are new to it, sometimes you don't, and sometimes it's better just to explain. So we're just going to keep on pushing. So Wingull will obviously gain a decent amount of experience here, which is very good, because I think the next move it learns is Supersonic, which means we can confuse opponents. Now, I don't really mean to get status inflicting moves unless they're relatively useful. Now, unfortunately, Supersonic, whilst it is useful in some scenarios, it's a 50-50 chance of a Pokemon near enough attacking, or attacking itself. But the issue that I've got with Supersonic is that it's not a 100% accurate move, so the fact that it can miss is already problematic in my eyes. Whereas we don't need it to be problematic, we need it to be either surefire guarantee, because I can tell you now, the RNG always works against me. So I'd rather not leave it to chance if I can help it. That's why I hate moves like Sand Attack, they do my nothing. As soon as accuracy's dropped, that's it. I'm basically spamming no moves consistently. Right, so I just want, for the sake of this battle, I want to just switch Trico in, because I don't want it to take a day and an age trying to get through Wingull. Because, if I remember rightly, the one Pokemon that they use prolifically is Poochyena. Now, Poochyena, whilst it's not the best Pokemon, but for this time, it's got a relatively higher attack stat, which comes in handy, and then it also knows the move Howl, which increases its attack stat, and I don't particularly want to be sat here getting one shot by a Poochyena because it's set itself up very nicely. Instead, I want to be able to just finish it off before it's had a chance to set up, and if it knows Sand Attack, which I think it might do, it might end up spamming that instead. Nope, we're going for Tackle. That's fine, I can keep healing up as you take on. That right there. Oh my god. Right, gone. Nope. Oh, we're lucky today. RNG gods are in my favour. Thank you. Down, done and dusted. Thank the Lord. If there's one thing that I'm going to try and avoid on this channel is swearing, because as much as I know that some YouTubers put disclaimers and things in their videos, I do not wish to swear at all, because I don't want that kind of audience. I don't want to be... I mean, I am an idiot, you can tell because of the way that I've put my name as Ignoramus, which is literally ignorant person, which also can be roughly translated to a moron, and I find it hysterical, so I just want to stick with that name. So if anyone's ever wondered why I've picked this name, I just think it's fitting, because sometimes I'm also oblivious and ignorant of other people, and I shouldn't laugh, but it is true, and I can't help it. Sometimes I just can't help it. You know, we've all got that one friend that just has no filter, says something they shouldn't have done and then just walks away. That's typically me. Most of the time I try to be inclusive with people, though I don't like to just let them feel like they're being left out, so I'd rather people all join in on the fun, not just feel singled out. That's why typically I also try and make fun of myself more often than not. And yes, if anyone is actually wondering, I'm from the UK. I'm not, I don't think I sound American. I'm from Yorkshire in particular, so that's the reason why my accent doesn't seem like a bit of a posh one. I'm not particularly too posh, just try to keep it as neutral English as I possibly can. And there we go. Should I fight you with, I think, if I remember rightly, you may be a bug trainer, but I'm pretty sure you've got a Nincada, which is... Nincada? I think it's Nincada, because I think it's... Yeah, I think it's a derivative of a word. Nincada, yeah, right. Water gun, super effective. How much damage? Ooh, big chunk. That's not going to do much. So that's a bug type move, flying, resist bug. You would get a crit though, wouldn't you? Yeah, restore some HP. Not like it's going to make that much of a difference though. And that's Nincada down. So how much... Oh, very, very nice. Very, very nice. How much are we looking? So the speed stat's also going up quite nicely as well, so I think it's going to be able to outspeed quite a fair few at this point. Oh, go on. Do tell. Shroomish. Now, it's so unfortunate. So, because I've obviously picked Trico, I don't actually want... There you go. See, that's the proof of Supersonic always missing when you need it to, especially. Because I've picked Trico, I'm not doubling up on types if I can help it. I once made a team where I thought I was diversifying it, and then it's only until a few times into it that I realised that 3 of my Pokemon were actually flying types, and they were all weak to ice, one of which was actually quad weak to ice, which I don't really... It's something that I need to avoid. I just need to be particularly careful with Shroomish because it has an ability called Effect Spore, which means that if you hit it with a physical move, it can poison, sleep, or paralyze you. And again, it's not something that I particularly want to be able to do. This is why Supersonic is not a move you want to be using. It's going to hit himself. It's confusion now. It's going to faint. Yep, there you go. Absolutely marvellous. Typical. God. Cascoon I could deal with. So, I was saying earlier, again, I know you couldn't hear me, so I do apologise for that, guys, but what I was saying is that Wurmple actually has a split evolution. Now, it's not actually random, but essentially it is as well. There's people that explain it into great detail as to how it works, but in my eyes it's basically random. And it's random in a sense that you could either get a Cascoon like what we've got on screen at the moment, or you end up getting a Silcoon. Now again, these two then evolve into another stage, which is Dustox and Beautifly respectively. So the point is that I'm going to try and catch both here, because I don't... Well, if they ever get in the ball. The reason why I want to catch them both here is because I don't want to spend ages trying to evolve a Wurmple into the respective Cascoon or Silcoon. I'd much prefer to catch them as is now, so that I know fine well what I am actually getting, so it's a certainty rather than random. As you can tell, I don't particularly like it when I get random events. I also do not like 1% encounters as well, because they always seem to elude me. And there we go, thank God for that. Thank the Lord. I said about swearing, I didn't say anything about blaspheming. All I was saying that I don't think it's actually classed as blaspheming, because I'm not using the name in vain. And that's Silcoon, and that is our set. Right. So hopefully I don't run out of Pokeballs now. You would crit, wouldn't you? Oh my God, right. Why would you do that? It's like the one time you don't want it to happen. Oh, shocker. I'm more surprised that you actually managed to crit and also faint it in the same breath. I'm actually quite shocked. Normally, whenever I get a crit, they usually live on 1 health and then spike me for it, but apparently not this time round. So, I can't ever remember which one's the more rare of the two. I think it's Silcoon that's the least rare, and that Cascoon's actually the rare one, but again, we're just going to have to see, aren't we? I mean, time is getting on. Because I think I've been recording for about 20 odd minutes so far. Oh, hello. So, Taylor will not be part of the team, but it won't exactly be a miss should I want to come back to it. This is the beauty of it, really. Even if I decide not to have them now, there's nothing saying that I might not want them later. And Taylor does evolve into quite a powerful Pokemon. If you faint now, I'm not going to be happy. Although saying that, you're not going to be much use to me with 1 health, but there we go. Right, we've got Taylor. We've got Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. And any other gender that you identify as. Because that seems to be a prevalent thing nowadays. But it's neither here nor there for me. People can choose what they want to choose. I very much believe in that kind of freedom of speech. So long as they don't impose their views strictly on me. Because I think that's the biggest problem with society as a whole, is that there always seems to be some people that have to impose their views. But I try and tend to stay away from political ideologies and things. I'm not particularly a fan or keen. I'm basic and boring. I'd rather just go to work, earn my money, raise my kids, and just have a quiet life. I don't understand people that purposely want to look for the spotlight. I mean, I suppose me doing this is me looking for a spotlight in a sense, but not massively. I don't plan on being rich or famous or anything like that. I'd rather be a bit hidden, tucked away, and leave people guessing, that sort of thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? What would you prefer? Would you prefer to be famous, loud and proud, or would you prefer to just be in the shadows, a bit hidden, allowed to live your life sort of thing? There we go. There we go. Not like last time where you fainted it in one shot. We are getting a bit close to the time now, guys. I think it's been it's nearly half an hour. I think it's going to be a case of get out of here and then see, if I'd have chosen to do the pickup squad right now, I'd have had Ultra Balls on me, and this wouldn't have been a problem. It would have been a cinch, but I attest to them, because if I had a pickup squad, then I'd have level 40 Pokemon before I've even hit the first gym, and then it just takes away some of the challenge, which I don't really want. You know, it's like if I could quite easily evolve Trico and Wingull into their final evolutions before hitting the gym, and I just don't want to, and because otherwise, what's the point? I can get these berries. Right, guys, now unfortunately I am going to have to say that this is the end of episode 2 because it's taken just slightly longer than what I expected. We've nearly got an hour's run time already, so I think that's an indicator that I have pretty much hit the half an hour mark, because I haven't been keeping track. I haven't been keeping time. I've kept it pretty loose. But here's to a bright future with this playthrough. I mean, like I said, we're going to go through Sapphire. We're going to try and get to the end by doing everything. Try and capture all the Pokemon that we can in this playthrough, in a single playthrough without the addition of another cartridge. But obviously that means things like trade evolutions will not be available, and neither will evolutions and Pokemon from other games like Fire Red and Leaf Green. And if any of you are wondering, the next game I will be playing will be Fire Red, once this is finished, and the one after that will be Emerald, and that'll tie up Generation 3. I don't see the point in playing all the games in Generation 3. Seems a bit redundant to me. Once you've played through one playthrough, you don't need to play through the exact same, but just with a different brand and a different set of exclusives. Obviously, where there are exclusives, I will mention that it's in the same location as to where I am getting the exclusive for Sapphire, I'll say, is the exact same in Ruby. It's just for X, Y, and Z Pokemon. But I've been talking that long, I should probably save again anyway, just to check the time. So 53 already. So that'll be it from me, guys. I hope you stick around, and I hope you tune in for the next episode. I'll try not to leave all the episodes too late either. I'm planning on hopefully uploading at least once to 5 times a week. Obviously I'm going to have 2 episodes straight off the bat already. It's going to be a learning curve with the editing as well, so if the banners and the graphics on top of the video look a bit strange or bizarre, I do apologise, but it will be a learning curve, so it'll be quite nice to see also how much I progress in the future. But that'll be it from me, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.